In previous session, we dealt with what is current, and we have done some more problems on potential and potential difference. And we derived the relationship between current, charge and time. I is equal to Q by T. Okay, and we also mentioned about the devices which actually measures the current, which actually measures the potential difference. Ammeter is meant for measuring the current. Voltmeter is meant for measuring the potential difference, and all these things we discussed yesterday. Now, today we'll do some problems that have been given in your textbook in current topic. Okay, one problem has been given like this: calculate the number of electrons consisted in 1 coulomb of charge. What he has asked, calculate the number of electrons consisted in 1 coulomb of charge. This type of problem I have done it yesterday, taken from some other book. This is the similar problem, but having some sort of peculiarity. Here we are asked to find out the number of electrons in a 1 coulomb of charge. I already told you solution. Q charge is equal to Ne, where N stands for number of electrons, where E stands for charge of 1 electron. Okay, this charge of 1 electron is a constant value, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs. Here he has given Q is equal to 1. Whatever the given data I will write here. He has given data. Q is equal to 1 coulomb, and what E is a standard value. What is meant by E? Charge of 1 electron is nothing but 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. Now we require to find out number of electrons. Therefore, N is equal to Q by E, that is equal to, what is the value of Q? 1 coulomb means 1 by, what is the charge of 1 electron? 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. Okay, so how this happens? If you take this one to the upper side, it becomes 10 to the power of 19. 1.6 by 10 to the power of 19. That means 1.6 multiplied by 10 to the power of 19. Okay, 1 by 1.96 into 10. That comes as 6.25 into 10 to the power of 18. Okay, what is that? 18 is the number. We already discussed while just defining the coulomb. 1 coulomb is equal to 6.25. The quantity of coulomb is equal to 6.25 electrons. How much charge they are having? That is the number we are here. Okay, 1 coulomb is equal to 6.25 into 10 to the power of 18. We arrived this figure. I will just remind you, this figure 1 coulomb consists of how many electrons charge, means 6.25 into 10 to the power of 18. This you have to remember. And what is the charge of the electron? 1.6 into 10 to the power of 19 coulombs. These two things you have to remember forever while dealing with the physics. Okay, next we'll go to another problem. There is another problem given like this. A current of 0.2 amps is drawn by the filament of a bulb for 30 minutes. Find the amount of charge that flows through a circuit. So, a current of 0.2 amperes is given. It is just drawn by a filament of bulb for 30 minutes. Duration, time is given, current I is given, and we were asked to find out what is the charge. So, by the definition of current, what is the definition of current? What is the definition of current? The amount of charge that is passing through a conductor. in a second, isn't it? So in that case, we derive the equation just like I is equal to Q by T. So we'll write the equation here. I is equal to Q by T. So what is the data given? Data given. I is equal to current is equal to, what is the value? 0.2 amps. And what is the time he has given? T is equal to time duration. Time is equal to 30 minutes. But you should be told in SI unit, 30 minutes should be converted into seconds. That means it is 1800 seconds. Is it not? 30 multiplied by 60, 1800 seconds. Now directly you just substitute the values here, thereby you can find out Q. What is Q here? Q is equal to I multiplied by T. What is the value of Q? What is the value of I here? 0.2. That multiplied by 1800 is the time in seconds. What comes around? 18 to 36 point here. So it is nothing but 360. Isn't it? What is the unit for this? Coulombs. So 360 coulombs of charge that is flowing through the circuit is the answer. There is another problem given in the textbook. It is also same type of problem, just substituting the values, but he has given why to leave that problem. I am just telling you. A charge of 5 coulomb flows through any cross section of a conductor in 10 seconds. What is the current flowing through a conductor? So here charge has been given as 5 coulombs and duration of the current flowing is 10 seconds. We are asked to find out the current I. We know the relation I is equal to Q by T. Given data, Q is equal to charge is, that you have to write charge is equal to, what is that? 5C, and T is equal to 10 seconds. Is it not? No, directly substitute this value. I is equal to current flowing is equal to, what is Q? 5 by 10. Is it not? This is 0.5. Here, what is important is what are the units you have to specify. That is very important for the calculator, for the problem you are doing. 50% of the marks will be allotted for the units for a small problem like this. What is I? Amps. So you have to mention this as amps. If you forget writing this A, you are going to lose half of the marks that have been allotted for this. Okay, don't forget to write the units of the particular measurement. Okay, this is the answer. So, how a current flows and how we can ensure the continuous flow of current. We can ensure flow of current at what condition? When there is a potential difference between the 2 points. If 2 points are there being connected by wire, if these 2 points are having some sort of potential difference, then current flows from higher potential to lower potential. It is the thing that we studied in previously. Okay. Now, as long as these two bodies are attaining equal potential, if two bodies are there with two different values of potentialities, there would be a flow of current. Till what point? Till they reach equality. If this body attains the same potentiality of this body, there would be no flow of current. Now it is practically very problem to us how to ensure a continuous flow of current. Always we cannot be there to do this. So how it is achieved? Let us discuss the things. Okay, now you see, I'm just explaining you. This is a body A, this is body B, this is having a potentiality means charge. It is having 16 coulombs, it is having 6 coulombs. There is a difference of potentiality. Now automatically from A to B there is a flow of current. Till what time this flow will continue? Till these two gets equal. I mean to say, this is 16, this is 6, means 22 by 2, 11. So after some time, A will be reaching, after losing current, it will be losing 11C charge, and this is gaining 11C charge. Okay. So now the 16 has become 11 and the 6 become 11. So these two bodies become equal potentialities. Then you can't expect flow of current here. There will be no flow of current because these two potentialities are equal. So how we can attain the continuous supply of current, the continuous flow of charge? Okay, that we'll discuss now. So this we can explain through a water tank, how water flows, how we can make the water to flow continuously. Like when we are just attending any exhibition, there we'll see there is a complete rotation of water from bucket to one bucket to another bucket. This water will be sucked by one motor and it will be delivered into another bucket. The same thing will be again, it is just rotating. How it is, just we'll see. This is one tank A, this is one tank B. It is placed at higher level, this is placed at lower level. Okay, so this is potentially high because of the height, potential energy, the energy that attained by virtue of its place, because it is elevated. So by the virtue of height, it has high potentiality. Automatically, like current also, water flows from high potential to lower potential. So from A to B, water will be reaching to B tank. So to this level, if it attains this level, or it is coming to lost, so the flow of current will be ended at the time it was emptied. If A tank is emptied and it was filled up by B, so there will be no, you can't expect this B tank to fill the A by normal piping system, isn't it? Because it is lower potential, it can only receive the water. So as and when the tank is totally emptied, you can't again expect the flow of water here. So there ends the matter. The water will be stagnated here. You can't expect the continuous flow of water. To have a continuity, to have a continuous water supply, what we have to do? We have to arrange a suction pipe and we have to arrange a motor. This motor will suck the water here, will suck from B, and this will deliver, this will boost by its kinetic energy, by mechanical energy, it will convert the water to flow up. It will boost the water to flow up. So here what we are using? We are using a mechanism, a booster, like motor. Just it is sucking the water here and delivering the water to the upper tank. Though this point is lower potential, it is giving back the water to higher potential by virtue of a device electrical motor. Now you see, by potential energy, this water has been sent to tank B. By the virtue of motor, again it is sucked and it is being delivered to tank A. Again, by virtue of potential energy, difference of potential, it is reaching to B. Again, it is sucking and delivering to tank A. So this process has been continuous. So the flow of water made continuous because of one booster and one device called electrical motor. Okay. In the same way, we can ensure a continuous flow of current in an electrical circuit by means of a device called electrical cell or battery. Okay, that battery is called a booster, like what motor is doing here for water, that battery is doing so in the electrical circuit. So what is battery and how it is, just we will learn. So in the water system, what motor has done, it created some sort of pressure, it boosted the pressure. Okay, to continue the flow, it boosted the pressure. That's why even from lower potential to higher potential, there is a flow. In the same way, in the electrical circuit also, if AB are two potential, equally potential points where they have been connected with some wire, if battery is added, then there is a flow of current. Because here potential difference is created. And how the potential difference is created in a battery. Just we'll learn about the structure of the battery. This is one terminal. This is electrical cell. This is one terminal plus. This is another terminal minus. So cell is a device in which it is having two terminals. One is plus and minus. Here it maintains a definite potential difference between the two terminals. How it maintains that potential difference between the two terminals? Because of the chemical action being taken place. Cell is constituted of a chemical carbon material. There is a continuous chemical action taking place in a cell. That chemical energy is being transferred into, being changed into, being converted into electrical energy. So what happens? Electrical energy is just brought by the chemical energy inside of the battery. Chemical energy is being converted into electrical energy. That is the functioning of a cell. So this chemical energy makes the cell to maintain the constant potential difference. Okay, if I say 6 volts battery, it does mean that it maintains 6 volts potential difference from this to this. It maintains 6 volts. This happens continuously by expending the chemical energy. By expending the chemical energy, it converts into electrical energy. So if you just connect this battery or cell having potential difference something else, I say 6 volts, to the circuit having AB equal potential circuited points, if you connect to this circuit, then there would be a 6 volts potential difference at a point. Okay, then automatically when there is potential difference from 2 points, automatically the circuit will getting continuously flow of electrons. That means charge will flow continuously. So the device that makes the circuit to run continuously, to run the charge continuously, is nothing but battery. And what is the battery? In the examination, you will be asked like this: what is battery? What is electrical cell? So electrical cell is nothing but a device that boosts the electrons to move, that boosts the charge to move, that creates the electromotive force. What is electromotive force? Electromotive force is nothing but the pressure created in the electrons to flow. So the battery is having, the force is called electromotive force, EMF. That EMF that causes the flow of current in the circuit. Okay. So in this way, the chemical energy in the battery creates some electromotive force. What is meant by electromotive force is a new term I am just using. Electromotive force, which motivates the electrons to move. That is nothing but electromotive force, which motivates the electrons to move. Okay, that is electromotive force. The electromotive force, EMF and potential difference, we use all in one terminology. For that also use the same dimension. For that also volt is the only what I mean to say unit for that. Okay, so electromotive force means it is the chemical energy is converted into electromotive energy that pushes, that pressures the electrons to move in the electrical wire. So far there is no flow from A to B because these are equally potential points. A is having same potentiality, B is having same potentiality. But whenever it is connected, this circuit connected to battery, the electromotive force, the chemical energy that is converted into electromotive force, and this electromotive force in the battery causes the electrons to move in the circuit. Now we will see that electrons are moving in the copper wire. Unless and until it is attached to battery, we can't see these electrons between A and B because equally potential points. But when it is connected to battery, this pushes electrons to move in the wire. There exists the current. Flow of electrons is nothing but flow of current. Then we are expecting current from A to B. In this way, the battery or cell is behaving like a motor, what we have seen in the waterwork. Okay, this is the concept of cell. Now we will discuss about the circuits. What is, how a circuit is formed, and what is open-ended circuit and what is closed. What I told you, there are two circuits, closed circuit and open circuit. In closed circuit, the circuit will be completed and the flow of current will be uninterrupted. Okay, like if you see a glowing of a bulb, it glows because circuit is finished, completed with the attachment of bulb. Okay, it is open, closed circuit, open-ended circuit. When you switch on and switch off, when you switch on, it is a closed circuit. When you switch off, there will be, the circuit will be broken. The circuit will be broken by the using of switch. It is called open circuit. At the position of open circuit, the bulb won't glow. In the closed circuit format, the bulb will glow. And what is the sketch for the closed circuit and what is the sketch for open circuit, that all we will discuss in tomorrow's class. We will end the session here. Tomorrow we will talk in detail about this, and some sort of symbols are also there, that also we will just learn the things. So I will stop the session here. My dear friends, if you like this video, please click on to like button and please forward this video to all of your friends, and please subscribe our channel. Bye. Thank you.